In this world, every breath must be earned. No salvation, only hunger. Every meal is paid for in blood. Every mistake could be the last. At the end of the dry season, the bed of the Mara River is little more than a ribbon of cracked mud. The ground has broken into grey shards, curling in the heat, reaching all the way to the horizon. Around the last remaining pool, the tracks of hundreds of animals overlap. The dry season wrings the savanna out, day by day. The grass yellows, then turns brown, the small streams vanish, and the herds begin to gather along an invisible map. Somewhere on this cracked plain, a creature is drawing water up out of nothing, not cloud, not rain, but a living machine weighing several tons. And that maker is the largest land animal on the planet. Leading the column is an old female elephant, her back marked by the years. She is the matriarch, and inside that heavy skull lies the most valuable possession the herd owns. An elephant's brain weighs nearly 11 pounds, the largest of any land mammal. Much of that capacity is given over to remembering every source of water across hundreds of miles. And this matriarch has lived through enough dry seasons to recall where water remains when everything else has run dry. Their destination is not a lake. It is a stretch of dry riverbed, where the surface holds not a single drop. To the untrained eye, this is a place to die of thirst. But to an elephant, it is a well not yet dug. The matriarch halts, testing the sand with her trunk. Somewhere below, moisture betrays the line of an underground spring through a scent only an elephant can read. Then the herd begins to dig. Forefeet rake at the sand, trunks scoop up handful after handful and fling it behind. A deepening pit takes shape in the middle of a riverbed that seemed long dead. That trunk is a feat of evolution. Around 40,000 bundles of muscle, not a single bone, strong enough to topple a tree, yet fine enough to pick up a single seed. The deeper they dig, the darker the sand becomes, until the glint of water seeps up at the bottom of the pit. The thick layer of sand above has filtered out bacteria, making this well water cleaner than any pool on the surface. No mud, no parasites, no rot. A grown bull elephant weighs more than 13,000 pounds and devours up to 600 pounds of grass and leaves each day, with a thirst to match. Yet rather than merely finding water, the elephant produces it, and that is what sets this animal apart from all the rest. For the well the elephants have just dug does not belong to the elephants alone. Word travels fast across the thirsty savanna. Within hours, others begin to arrive at a well they did nothing to dig. A herd of zebra is the first to catch the scent. They approach the edge of the elephant well, cautious. Then lower their heads to drink the water another species has made for them. After the zebra come antelope, then warthogs, then flocks of birds dropping down. The small pit in the dry riverbed becomes the beating heart of an entire region. This is what scientists call a keystone species. The elephant does not simply live within this ecosystem. The elephant builds it, digging it up out of the earth with trunk and foot. In drier regions, researchers have recorded a whole range of species surviving the dry season on elephant wells alone. Lose the elephant, and it is not one species that dies, but a whole chain of life that collapses with it. That knowledge does not die with the matriarch. It is passed down to the younger females, generation after generation, a living library of water, written in memory rather than words. The matriarch understands the value of what she has created. She lingers by the well, ears slowly fanning, standing guard. But she cannot stay forever, and she knows it. For this same well will become a trap Where water gathers, prey gathers. And where prey gathers, the hunters will come. Before they leave, the elephants drink one last time, then turn toward the horizon, following memory to the next source of water on a map that is theirs alone. They leave behind a gift and a curse. The gift is water. The curse is every predator that water is about to draw in. And the first to step onto this stage of water is not a hunter. It is the tallest creature on earth, the one that pays the highest price simply to bend down and drink. Towering over every tree around the well, a Masai giraffe approaches. A grown male can weigh as much as 2,600 pounds, and the heart that pumps blood up that enormous neck alone weighs around 25 pounds. Its height makes the giraffe the watchtower of the Savanna. Large eyes set high up pick out a lion from a distance at which others are blind. When that neck suddenly stiffens and turns toward one direction, every animal around the well understands danger is coming. And yet nature has taken from the giraffe the very thing it needs most at the water's edge. The neck that lets it feed on the highest leaves is far too tall to reach the water below. To drink, it must splay its forelegs wide and lower its whole body, a posture so awkward it becomes dangerous. In that splay-legged moment, the tallest animal on the savanna becomes the most vulnerable, needing precious seconds to rise that it does not have. Every mouthful of water is a gamble. The giraffe lifts its head, looks around, then lowers it again, putting off the moment of exposure to the very last. The giraffe spreads its legs, lowers its neck, lips touching the surface of the well. In that instant, the entire towering body hangs suspended between thirst and death. It drinks quickly, eyes still darting. Then, with a clumsy start, it gathers its legs, springs up, and the safety of its height returns. This time nothing happens, but it will have to repeat that gamble every single day until the dry season ends. This is the first paradox of water here. The very thing that grants life forces the one who drinks to bow, to stoop, to bare its neck at the exact moment it cannot defend itself. Around the elephant, well, a fragile order is taking shape. Elephants make the water, giraffes keep watch, zebra and antelope press in to drink. Only one thing is missing from this picture, the predator. With every passing night, the pool shrinks further, squeezing the distance between those who drink and those who wait ever closer. All across the Mara, dozens of herds funnel toward fewer and fewer waterholes, and that concentration is exactly what the predators have waited for all dry season long. Because for a hunter patient enough, there is no need to search the whole savanna. It need only seize the water and let thirst drive the prey straight to its jaws. At the largest waterhole left in the region, one family has done exactly that. They have not moved for days. They are waiting. Stretched out in the shade of an acacia, less than 100 paces from the water's edge, is a pride of lions. They do not hide. They do not conceal themselves. They have no need to, because they own this place. This is the last large waterhole still holding out in the entire region. By holding it, the pride commands the most absolute power on the savanna, control of the water, and the prey has no choice. A herd of zebra, parched all day, is drawing near. Caught between thirst and the lions, they are forced to choose thirst as the lesser killer. The zebra stops short of the water, alert. Dozens of heads lift, ears pricked, nostrils flaring as they read the wind. They know death lies somewhere in the yellow grass, but behind them stretches a savanna without a single drop. In the acacia scrub, the lionesses press their bodies low to the ground. Eyes lock onto a zebra at the edge. Silently, the pride fans out, slowly closing the circle. The zebra scatter, throwing up a blinding cloud of dust. The pride drives the zebra at the edge, cutting it off from the herd. The hunt ends just a few steps from the water. The lions need not win every contest, they need only hold the water, and the prey will come to them. But the lion's power at the waterhole is not absolute. Not every prey animal will bow its head. A challenger is approaching, and it has not come to drink in secret. A black wall spills over the horizon. Not cloud, but a herd of African buffalo, hundreds strong, pounding the earth as they march straight for the waterhole. A grown bull weighs as much as 2,000 pounds, and it fears no lion at all. Unlike the zebra, the buffalo do not come to drink by stealth. They advance like an army, shoulder to shoulder, taking the water by numbers and by force. The pride rises, follows, searching for the weakest. And the whole herd turns. Hundreds of horns swing outward, the entire black mass surging back toward the pride. The prey becomes the hunter. The pride flees in panic. This waterhole today belongs to the buffalo. The buffalo's strength lies in collective discipline. A lone animal can still become a meal, But when the whole herd turns the same way, they form a wall that cannot be broken. That is why buffalo kill more lions than almost any other prey. The pride withdraws into the shade to lick its wounds. This round they have lost. But the dry season is long, and the buffalo will not always be so many or so united. Control of the water, it turns out, is never permanent. It is won and lost again every single day. While lions and buffalo clash at the center of the waterhole, out at the margins of the game, other predators quietly pay the price for that dominance. When a pride takes the best waterhole at the coolest hours, every other hunter is pushed out of the easy hours and the easy ambush spots, forced to feed at the worst time of day. The first to bear that price is the fastest hunter on the planet. High noon, when the sun scorches the savanna. The cheetah is the fastest animal on land in a few explosive seconds, reaching speeds of nearly 60 miles per hour. Yet this phenomenal sprint lasts less than a minute, costing them half an hour of breathless recovery, 30 minutes where the entire savanna knows their exact location. Hunting at midday is therefore a perilous double gamble. The cheetah coalition locks eyes on a wildebeest herd, singling out a massive grazing adult. They must coordinate perfectly for a swift, decisive kill, lacking the stamina for a prolonged chase beneath the scorching sun. Hugging the earth, they fan out and creep closer. 40 paces. 30. The adult wildebeest remains entirely unaware. Then, the entire coalition erupts. The panicked wildebeest bolts, its heavy hooves thundering in a desperate bid to shatter the siege. The cheetahs accelerate, drawing the net tight from all sides, severing every route of escape. A synchronized barrage of leaping strikes, and the colossal wildebeest loses its footing, crashing violently to the grass. The coalition has triumphed, but utterly exhausted. They lie panting beside their prize, needing to recover before they can feast. They feed in hurried, anxious bites, acutely aware that heavier rivals could arrive at any moment to steal their prize. Such is the toll for marginalized predators, hunting in the deadliest hours and dividing the spoils with allies merely to safeguard their own hard-won meal. Not far away, along a line of trees beside a dry river, another hunter has chosen the opposite answer to the same problem. It is the leopard, a large male, up to around 200 pounds, his muscle packed into the shoulders and forelimbs, not for speed, but for hauling prey and for climbing. Unlike the cheetah, exposed out on the open plain, the leopard hunts in darkness and in the shadow of trees. It does not need to be the fastest, only to go unseen until it is far too late. But once it has brought down its prey, the trouble has only just begun. The scent of blood spreads through the dry air, and a clan of spotted hyenas appears out of the grass, hackles raised, shrill whoops cutting across the afternoon. They have smelled a meal they did not have to hunt for. The spotted hyena lives in a ruthless matriarchal society. The females are larger than the males, and their jaws crush through even a thigh bone. A lone leopard cannot stand against the whole clan on the ground. It would lose its prey within minutes. But the leopard holds one card no thief can follow. It seizes its prey, sometimes as heavy as itself, and climbs straight up a tree trunk, one branch at a time, until the meal hangs draped over a fork high above, beyond the reach of the hyenas snarling below. Held back by gravity, the hyena clan turns to tax the others instead. Around every waterhole, no kill is ever complete, and no source of water is held without being paid for in blood. For weeks, the stage of water runs one way only. The lower the water falls, the more power gathers in whoever holds the last muddy edge. But on the horizon, a sky that has burned hard and blue for months is now piling up with grey cloud, heavy and low. The air changes its smell. A damp wind drifts across the scorched yellow grassland, carrying the promise the whole land has waited for all dry season. Rain is coming. It ought to be good news. But in the Mara, water has never been a simple gift. When the rain falls on the highlands, the Mara River will wake, and water, the very thing that was so scarce it killed, is about to become so abundant that it kills in a deadlier way still. The dry season has chosen its winners. Now it is the wet season's turn to overturn the board. And at a shallow crossing of the Mara River, an ancient predator has waited for this moment all year long. Hundreds of miles upstream from the Mara, the first rains of the season finally come down. Threads of water gather, run fast, and pour into the Mara River. After a dry season spent barely alive, the river now surges, its muddy water rising by the hour. And as the water rises, the balance of power begins to tilt. The killer is no longer the lion by the waterhole. From now on, the river itself will decide who lives and who dies. Driven by the same rain, a vast wave of life floods in. More than 1 million wildebeest, following the season's migration, converge on the banks of the Mara like a brown flood. They come for one reason only: the green grass on the far bank. The wildebeest mass at the water's edge, packed tight, hesitating. Thousands press in from behind, while those in front falter, sensing what waits beneath the murky water. For this is no random crossing, but a fixed shallow, where the herds have passed from one generation to the next. And at that exact spot, all but invisible beneath the murky water, lies the Nile crocodile, a male as long as 16 feet, weighing more than 1,300 pounds, An ambush machine barely changed in millions of years. This crocodile may not have taken a large meal in nearly a year. It does not need to. Its true weapon is not speed or strength, but a cold patience, letting the migration bring the feast right to its mouth. The pressure from behind breaks the hesitation. One wildebeest plunges in, and like a bursting dam, the whole herd pours after it, churning the river to white foam. The crossing dissolves into chaos. Wildebeest swim in a frenzy, colliding with one another. Amid the sea of thrashing bodies, dark shapes rise. The crocodile lunges. The huge jaws clamp shut, and then it rolls the death spin that drags the prey to the bottom and holds it under until it is spent. All around, the rest of the crocodiles attack as well. The shallow that once saved the herds has become a trap. But the crocodile is not the only danger. With thousands plunging into one narrow stretch of river, the deadliest killer today has no teeth. It is the panic of the herd itself. The weak are knocked down, trampled under, and swept away by the surging current. Many die not from crocodiles, but from drowning and from their own kind. On the opposite bank, the survivors stagger up, exhausted, leaving behind hundreds of bodies of their own bobbing in the water. The scene repeats at every crossing. The river that was once the boundary of life has become the line between living and dying, charging its toll in the blood of those forced to cross. When the crowd disperses and the water settles, the bloodied river has not yet finished its story. For here lives another master, larger than the crocodile and far more short-tempered. From the deep water, an enormous head breaks the surface, blowing out 2 columns of spray. The hippopotamus, a male weighing more than 7,000 pounds, who treats this stretch of river as inviolable territory. Few would guess this grazer ranks among the most dangerous animals in Africa. When it gapes, the 2 jaws open to nearly 150 degrees, bearing tusks long enough to pierce a wooden boat, strong enough to bite an angry crocodile clean in 2. Within the pod, clashes break out without pause. 2 bulls hurl themselves at each other, jaws thrown wide, fighting for the best stretch of water and the right to mate. And yet the hippo's greatest role lies in something no one can see. Each night it climbs ashore and grazes as much as 90 pounds of grass, then by day returns to the river and voids it there. The hippo population pours around 880 pounds of silicon into the river each day, an element the whole river depends on. That silicon is no waste. The hippopod governs around 76% of the silicon flow of the Mara River, the material that builds diatoms, the tiny organisms that underpin the entire underwater food chain. Without hippos, the diatoms decline, and the fish that feed on them go hungry too. And so this huge, ill-tempered animal is in truth a living pump, grazing in one world and seeding life into another. But the greatest gift the river receives this season comes not from the hippo, but from the very wildebeest that have just drowned. Each year, an average of around 6,250 drown at the Mara crossings. Roughly 1,100 tons of meat and bone poured into the river over a few weeks. At first glance, it looks like a terrible waste, but the river wastes none of it. The soft flesh is cleared away by fish, crocodiles, and bacteria within weeks at times. Wildebeest carcasses make up as much as half the diet of the fish here. The bones are the strangest part. They break down slowly, taking as long as 7 years to dissolve, and all that while they leak phosphorus. Each drowning releases around 13 tons of phosphorus into the river, set free gradually, like a slow-release capsule. This is the deepest paradox of this region. The river kills thousands of lives, then turns that death into the foundation of new life. Algae blooming, fish growing, the food chain reborn. Meanwhile, on the far bank, the survivors are still not out of danger. The scent of blood and the din of chaos have called the lions in. To them, the crossing is a second feast, the prey, too tired to run, bunched together in one narrow place. The crossing therefore kills on both sides. Those that hesitate become food for the crocodiles in the water, and those that make it across meet tooth and claw on land. The river grants no one a clean escape. When the migration has passed, the Mara crossing falls quiet, bearing the marks of both slaughter and rebirth. Power has shifted from those who held the waterhole to the river itself. The lions step back. The crocodiles and hippos step forward. The very same thing water both lifts up and pulls under everything alive. And when these battles have died down, there is still one task left undone. Across the Savanna and along the riverbanks, thousands of bodies still lie out under the sun. Who will close the loop that water has opened? The answer comes not from the ground, but from the sky, black specks circling so high they are almost lost from sight, looking down on the whole drama playing out below. They are white-backed vultures. Their eyes see roughly 8 times sharper than a human's, picking out a carcass from many miles away. One bird circling spots a wildebeest carcass, and the whole sky answers. Hundreds drop down, turning the body into the center of a great cleanup. What looks like a gruesome scene is, in truth, a vital service. Within hours, the vultures strip a carcass bare that, if left, would rot and spread disease through every waterhole. The vulture's most potent weapon lies in its gut, a stomach acid so strong it can dissolve even the bacteria of anthrax, of cholera, and the toxins that fell other animals. The vulture eats what kills everything else and renders it harmless. In this way, the vulture closes the loop that water has opened. Death here has never been a full stop. Water draws the prey in, the hunter kills, the river drowns, and then the vulture returns it all to the earth so that a new season of water can begin. This is the oldest continent where life on land began and has never stopped testing itself. In the not yet clear light, a sound shatters the silence, the thundering of hooves on dry earth, the desperate gasping for breath. A low shadow glides through the tall grass. In Africa, peace is always the most fragile thing. It is a lioness, amber gold eyes locked on the target ahead. In this land, it is not the thick-maned males, but the females who are the true hunters of the pride. The dry season has stretched on for weeks. Rivers shrink. Grass burns yellow from horizon to horizon. As water sources contract, every species is forced toward the same downstream area, and conflict becomes inevitable. In this land, the line between predator and prey is not as clear as you might think. Hippos, seemingly slow creatures, cause more human deaths than most large mammals in Africa. Crocodiles are more patient than any killer, and sometimes the smallest creature is the one that lives the longest. In the distance, a herd of kudu antelope grazes. They do not yet know the hunt has begun. The lionesses have gradually spread into formation. Then they explode. Top speed near 50 miles per hour in the first few seconds. In an instant, the kudu goes down. Swift, precise, and ruthless. But here, no one eats in peace. The noise of the hunt has carried far. On the horizon, the silhouettes of hyenas have begun to appear. The meal must end quickly. Time in Africa sides with no one. Blood seeps into the dry grass. The sun climbs higher, and downstream, another conflict is simmering beneath the surface. At midday, the sun beats straight down onto the river. A pod of hippos lies packed together in the shallows, only their eyes and small ears visible. The dominant bull, weighing over 3,300 pounds, occupies the deepest water. This territory is inviolable. A young bull steps into the forbidden zone. The young bull does not retreat. The dominant bull charges like a torpedo, water exploding everywhere. Everything ends in seconds. The young bull yields and retreats to save his life. the water settles again. In Africa, the most dangerous creature is not always the one that looks the fiercest. Not far away, on a large acacia branch, sunlight filters in dappled patterns through the canopy. A leopard lies, stretched out its spotted coat, blending perfectly into the leaf shadows, nearly invisible. Below, an impala walks past without the slightest awareness. The leopard does not need darkness to conceal itself. Its coat is perfect camouflage in broad daylight. A tail flick, the only signal. Then it launches from the branch a precise, clean leap. Jaws lock around the prey's throat. And the extraordinary begins. It hauls the prey nearly its own weight back up the tree, step by step, by the sheer strength of its jaws and neck. Up high, the meal is safe from both lions and hyenas. The sun touches the horizon. The sky burns red, the silhouettes of acacia trees etched black against the fiery backdrop. A lion's roar echoes across the savanna. Not a threat, but a declaration we are still here. This continent witnessed life begin. Do not let it witness life end. But fire is not the only trial life must endure. Elsewhere on the planet, another battle rages where the enemy has no fangs or claws, but cold. A howl rips through the Siberian sky. Then another echoing through millions of snow-laden pines, piercing through air frozen at -50 degrees Fahrenheit. Then the entire forest trembles, not from the wind, but because life is awakening in the heart of death. The blizzard descends from the north, sweeping across the taiga like a giant hand erasing all traces. Visibility drops to just a few feet. Through that white curtain, an enormous dark shape looms into view. A moose, a creature weighing well over 1,000 pounds, lowers its head against the bitter wind. And behind it, at the edge of the pine forest, a pair of amber eyes flares, then vanishes. The Siberian tiger, the largest cat on the planet, the phantom of the winter forest. But today it does not strike, it waits. Because in Siberia, patience is the deadliest weapon of all. The Russian winter does not merely freeze the ground, it rewrites every rule of survival. From the vast taiga to the Arctic tundra, from ice-capped peaks to the hidden world beneath the snow, winter here lasts 7 months and forgives no one. But in this cold that can freeze metal solid, who truly reigns? The answer does not lie in strength. It lies in adaptation, and every creature in this forest is proving that in its own way. Winter sunlight falls upon the taiga, pale gold spreading across millions of motionless pines. Amid this silence, the true battle for survival begins. The Siberian tiger Panthera tigris altaica needs no introduction. It is the solitary king of the winter taiga, and the cold is its ally. The Siberian tiger's winter coat is twice as thick as its summer fur. Each hair is hollow inside, trapping heat like the most perfect natural insulation system. Around the neck, a dense mane forms an armor against the cold. Its body can withstand temperatures dropping to -58 degrees Fahrenheit levels at which steel becomes brittle and prone to shattering. But it is sheer size that makes the Siberian tiger the absolute ruler. An adult male weighs over 600 pounds and stretches more than 10 feet, including the tail. A single male's territory can span from 400 to 1,500 square miles, an area larger than an entire city. On the harshest winter days, when temperatures hit rock bottom and snow piles higher than 4 feet, the Siberian tiger becomes virtually the only creature that dares to move across the ground. Its tracks imprint on virgin snow as large as dinner plates, deep but evenly spaced, the sole evidence that the world's largest land predator is still patrolling its kingdom. The orange and black stripes, perfect camouflage in the summer forest, are muted in winter beneath a thin layer of snow clinging to the fur, transforming the tiger into a gray-white shadow gliding through the pines. Only about 750 Siberian tigers remain in the wild in Russia. The IUCN lists them as endangered on the brink of depletion. With each passing winter, the Siberian tiger's battle is not only against the cold, but against disappearance itself. But in the winter taiga, power does not belong solely to the solitary. Some creatures understand that true strength lies in numbers. The grey wolf Canis lupus is the perfect counterpart to the Siberian tiger. If the tiger is a solitary king, then the wolf is an army. In summer, wolves disperse into small family groups. But when the first blizzard sweeps through the taiga, an ancient instinct calls them to unite. Five to 15 individuals, sometimes more, gather under the leadership of the alpha pair, the only wolves permitted to breed within the pack. Their howl is not merely a sound. It is the most sophisticated long-range communication system among terrestrial mammals. Each howl carries a unique frequency, traveling over 10 miles through the cold taiga air, summoning pack members from across the territory. And once the pack is united, the collective hunting machine begins to operate. Their preferred winter target? Moose prey weighing 10 times the weight of a single wolf. When the target has been chosen, the chase begins. Moose run faster than wolves. But deep snow is the enemy of herbivores. Each step grows heavier. Each passing minute brings more exhaustion. And wolves know how to wait. When the prey collapses, the feeding hierarchy activates. The alpha pair eats first always. Then the beta wolves, followed by the lowest ranking members. This order is not cruelty, it is strategy. The alpha pair must stay strong enough to breed, ensuring the pack's survival through winter. And in the fading winter daylight, the howl rises again, a call of reunion, a confirmation that today the pack remains intact. The wolf's double-layered coat, a soft inner layer for warmth, a tough outer layer to block wind, allows them to sleep outdoors at -40 degrees Fahrenheit without shelter. The Siberian winter forges the bonds within a wolf pack into steel. The packs that survive the harshest winters are the most united. But not every predator needs a pack. Deep in the silent taiga, one creature has turned solitude into a weapon. The Eurasian lynx, is the true phantom of the Siberian pine forest. If the Siberian tiger relies on power, if wolves rely on numbers, the lynx needs only one thing: perfect silence. Its mottled grey winter coat blends completely with pine bark and moss-covered stone, rendering it nearly invisible when standing still. But the lynx's most formidable weapon lies in its paws. Enormous feet, disproportionately large for its body, distribute weight across the snow surface like natural snowshoes. The lynx moves across snow, leaving almost no trace, no sound, no disturbance, only a lethal approach. In winter, when food is scarce and energy must be conserved, the lynx shifts to active patrolling, moving continuously across a territory that can span up to 1,000 square miles. Today's prey: a grouse, a woodland bird scratching through snow for tree buds. The lynx approaches slowly. But today, luck does not smile upon it. The grouse swiftly beats its wings and flies away before the lynx can strike. The distinctive black ear tufts at the tips, not decoration, but sound-collecting antennae, enable the lynx to detect sounds from greater distances than any cat of comparable size. But the lynx is not the only creature to turn solitude into an advantage. In the snowy northern reaches, another is proving that cunning can sometimes surpass fangs and claws. The Arctic fox, Vulpes lagopus, is one of the most perfectly cold-adapted creatures on this planet. Its winter coat transforms from brownish grey to pure white so perfectly that when the fox lies motionless on the snow, it vanishes completely. A compact body, short legs, small rounded ears, everything evolved to minimize heat loss surface area. And here is the most astonishing figure. The Arctic fox does not begin to shiver until the temperature drops below -94 degrees Fahrenheit, a level of cold at which most mammals have long since perished. But warm fur is not enough without food. And on the frozen tundra, the Arctic fox has developed an extraordinary hunting technique, the mousing pounce. Head tilted, ears pricked, it listens for the microscopic sounds of rodents moving beneath the snow. Then a soaring leap, nose plunging straight down through the snow, punching through the frozen crust to snatch the prey hiding below. It buries surplus food in shallow caches beneath the snow reserves for the days when blizzards make venturing out impossible. The Arctic fox's survival depends not on strength or speed, but on intelligence and the ability to turn every opportunity into a meal. But if the Arctic fox is the adapter of the tundra, then the red fox, Vulpes vulpes, is the adapter of everywhere. The red fox also employs the mousing pounce, but with a secret that science is still trying to decode. The hypothesis: red foxes may sense the Earth's magnetic field and use it as a natural targeting system to pinpoint the exact location of prey beneath the snow. But the red fox is not just a hunter. It is the ultimate opportunist, eating insects, fish, wild berries, carrion, whatever winter leaves behind. And perhaps it is this very flexibility that explains why the red fox has the widest distribution of any canid, from the Russian taiga to the Sahara Desert, from the Arctic to the suburbs of Tokyo. On the coldest winter days, the red fox curls up beneath a tree trunk, its thick tail wrapped around its nose, and pours the perfect natural fur blanket. Unlike any other canid, the red fox can partially retract its claws, a cat-like trait that helps it grip slippery ice when pursuing prey. But as we follow the predators across the snow, a question arises. Where is the prey? Millions of rodents seem to vanish when winter arrives. The answer lies right beneath our feet, just a few inches below the snow surface. This is the Subnivean world, a hidden civilization beneath the snow that few ever see. When snow accumulates to about 6 inches, something miraculous occurs. Warmth from the ground creates a gap between the earth and the snow, a secret corridor where temperatures remain steady at around 32 degrees Fahrenheit. -32 degrees Fahrenheit below, while the snow surface above endures -40 degrees Fahrenheit. A difference of over 70 degrees across a distance of just a few feet. Snow, paradoxically, is the warmest blanket nature ever created. And within that warm world, voles and lemmings have built an entire underground city. A complex branching tunnel system with sleeping chambers, dining areas, and even food storage rooms stretches beneath the snow surface, across areas spanning hundreds of square yards. And most extraordinarily, lemmings breed in the dead of winter. While most animals are simply trying to survive, lemmings are creating the next generation beneath the protective snow. The lemming population boom and bust cycles, surging, then collapsing every 3 to 4 years, is the heartbeat of the entire Arctic winter ecosystem. When lemming populations explode, every predator thrives. When populations collapse, the entire ecosystem shudders. But this underground world is no impenetrable paradise. From above, asymmetrically placed ears are listening. The snowy owl, Buboscandiacus, is the ruler of the tundra skies, and its relationship with lemmings is nearly absolute. During breeding season, the snowy owl feeds almost exclusively on lemmings. The number of eggs it lays depends entirely on the lemming population. In boom years, the snowy owl lays more than 10 eggs. In crash years, it may not breed at all. Multi-layered white plumage covers it from head to toe, including the feet, an insulation system that allows it to sit motionless for hours on the snow without losing heat. Its ears are positioned asymmetrically on the skull, allowing the snowy owl to pinpoint the exact location of sound in three-dimensional space. Combined with specialized wing feathers that eliminate the sound of flapping, the snowy owl flies in absolute silence. Prey never hears death approaching. But if the snowy owl dominates the open tundra skies, deep within the taiga, another hunter is accomplishing what seems impossible. The great grey owl Strix nebulosa boasts a wingspan of nearly 5 feet. Yet its actual body is surprisingly light. Most of its size comes from thick, insulating plumage. Its enormous disc-shaped face functions like a parabolic antenna, collecting and directing sound waves to its asymmetrically placed ears. This biological technology allows the great grey owl to hear voles moving beneath more than 20 inches of packed snow. No radar, no technology, just 40 million years of evolution and a face designed perfectly to hear. And once the position is locked, the great grey owl plunges downward, smashing through a frozen snow crust more than 20 inches thick with the force of its feet. A wingspan of nearly 5 feet casts an enormous shadow gliding silently across the snow surface, like a phantom at midday. If you too are captivated by these extraordinary survival tactics, share your thoughts in the comments below. But some creatures choose an entirely different path, not enduring, not hiding, but leaving. And that departure is one of the most magnificent spectacles on the planet. Reindeer Rangifer tarandus do not flee from winter, they run straight through it. Each year, hundreds of thousands of reindeer undertake a migration spanning 600 to 750 miles along routes more ancient than human history. Leading the migration is not the largest bull, but the eldest females, the matriarchs who have lived through many winters and memorized every path. Their memories are living maps passed from generation to generation, not through genes, but through experience. Their hooves change with the seasons. In summer, soft and wide like cushioned pads. In winter, they harden into chisel-like edges, cutting through ice to dig for food below. The reindeer's nose is a biological marvel. Inside, it contains a complex network of coiled bones called turbinates that warm the frozen air before it reaches the lungs. But the most spectacular secret lies in their eyes. In winter, reindeer eyes shift to a deep blue, a change that enhances light sensitivity during the months of near total darkness. Reindeer can see ultraviolet light, an ability most mammals lack. Lichens absorb UV rays, standing out as dark patches against the blinding white snow. When a blizzard strikes mid-migration, thousands of reindeer press tightly together, forming a massive living mass that conserves heat for the herd. Each migration is a test. The weakest fall behind. Wolves and brown bears wait at the edges of the herd. But the reindeer herd presses forward, not out of courage, but driven by a primal instinct stronger than fear that has propelled this species through thousands of generations. The reindeer's strength lies not in fangs or claws. It lies in collective memory, the legacy passed down by ancestors through every winter. And when spring arrives, The brown bear, Ursus arctos, prepares for winter in a way no other species dares attempt, sleeping for 5 to 7 months without eating, drinking, or excreting. But before the sleep, the bear must complete a life or death mission. Hyperphagia, a phase of frantic eating lasting several weeks. During this phase, the bear eats everything: salmon, berries, roots, insects, gaining 30 to 40% of its body weight. Once the den is dug and the body has stored enough fat, the brown bear enters the most extraordinary state biology has ever recorded. Heart rate drops from about 40 beats per minute to just 8. Body temperature decreases by about 9 degrees Fahrenheit, yet remains high enough for a rapid awakening if threatened. No eating, no drinking, no urination, no defecation. For 5 to 7 months, the bear's body recycles waste into protein, maintaining muscle mass without movement, something modern medicine still cannot replicate in humans. And in the midst of that winter sleep, the greatest miracle occurs. In January, the mother bear gives birth blind, hairless cubs weighing only 10 to 14 ounces, smaller than a can of soda. In the complete darkness of the den, the cubs nurse on their mother's fat-rich milk, the sole source of nutrition that helps them grow large enough before spring. The mother nurses her cubs without eating, sacrificing her own energy reserves to nourish the next generation. When spring touches the den entrance, the mother leads her cubs outside for the first time, 4-month-old cubs weighing about 10 pounds, seeing sunlight for the first time in their lives. The world outside is vast and full of danger. But the mother, now 40% thinner than before hibernation, will protect them at any cost. The Russian winter is the most ancient test that nature has ever set, and every species on this land has written a different answer. The tiger chooses solitary strength. The wolf chooses unity. The lynx chooses silence. The fox chooses cunning. The reindeer chooses migration. The bear chooses sleep. The lemming chooses to hide and breed in the season of death. All are different, but all answer the same question. How do you survive when everything around you wants to extinguish life? And at the edge of the taiga, as the first spring dawn paints the horizon pink, a howl rings out. The howl of a wolf, the very howl that opened this story. But this time, it is no longer a call to war. It is a call of life, confirming that the pack endures, that winter has not won. But not all power in nature belongs to the strongest. There exists a place on Earth so vast, so ancient, and so chaotic that raw muscular strength becomes almost meaningless. A place where even the most fearsome predators must submit to an invisible force they can neither see nor resist. Welcome to the Amazon rainforest, 2.6 million square miles of wild tropical jungle. This is no peaceful green garden. This is the most brutal battleground for survival on the planet. Beneath the darkened canopy, millions of organisms compete for every sliver of living space. Here, the adaptable survive. The vulnerable are consumed. And within this colossal biological engine, one question has always persisted. Who truly rules the Amazon? To find the answer, we will not look upward to the top of the food chain. we will cast our gaze down to the very bottom where true power is quietly forged. Because in the Amazon, size has never been the measure of strength. In this Emerald Kingdom, organization is the supreme weapon. Beneath the thick layer of decaying leaves on the Amazon floor, an empire operates. Silent, disciplined, and more numerous than any army in human history. Leafcutter ants are nature's original farmers. Tens of millions of years before humans learned to cultivate, they had already domesticated fungi. Every day, millions of leafcutter ants leave the colony, climb tree trunks, slice leaf fragments with surgical precision, and carry them back on their bodies. But they do not eat the leaves. They grow their food. The leaves are chewed into pulp, mixed with saliva, then spread across fungal beds in a tunnel system deep underground. The fungus grows on this decomposing substrate, and that is the true meal for the entire colony. The first agriculture on this planet did not belong to humans. It belonged to an insect weighing less than 1/10 of a gram. A single leafcutter colony can number up to 8 million individuals, 8 million organisms functioning as a single body. And at the center of this empire, a single queen. The leafcutter queen lives 14 to 20 years. Over her lifetime, she produces more than 150 million daughters. $150 million. No creature on Earth, including humans, can generate a lineage that vast within a single lifetime. Every ant knows its exact role. Sentinel, cutter, transporter, fungus farmer. None needs teaching, none needs reminding. No central brain, no verbal commands, only pheromones. Pheromones, the chemical signals each ant secretes, are the invisible language of the empire. A single pheromone trail coordinates hundreds of thousands of individuals simultaneously, more precise than any communication system humans have ever devised. Each year, the colony processes tons of soil, excavating, aerating, recycling nutrients across the entire forest floor. Without ants, the Amazon's soil would suffocate. But the underground empire does not consist only of farmers. There are also invaders. Army ants are the perfect antithesis of the leafcutter. Where leafcutters build, army ants destroy. A single army ant raid mobilizes up to 200,000 individuals. They pour across the forest floor like a black river, stretching over 200 meters, obliterating everything in their path. Insects, spiders, scorpions, even small lizards, nothing escapes this army.
In the jungle, survival is a brutal battle.
The rustling of hundreds of thousands of tiny legs across dead leaves is the last sound many creatures ever hear. Army ants build no permanent nests. They construct bivouacs, living structures assembled from thousands of ants locking their legs together. This living wall shields the queen and larvae through the night. When dawn arrives, the bivouac dismantles. The army marches again. No rest, no negotiation, no borders. Whether building or destroying, this is not mere instinct. This is the mathematics of evolution honed across tens of millions of years, more refined than any governance system ever conceived. If the jaguar is the symbol of power in the Amazon, then ants are the foundation keeping the entire forest running. Strength does not reside in size. It resides in organization. But the ground is only the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the water, a world far more terrifying awaits, where power is measured not by fangs or claws, but by something entirely invisible. Up to 8 feet long, weighing nearly 44 pounds. It looks more like a rotting log than a predator, but appearances deceive. This is the electric eel, and it carries within its body a weapon no other species on Earth possesses. The electric eel is not, in truth, an eel at all. It belongs to the order Gymnotiformes, the knifefish more closely related to catfish and carp. The name eel is a centuries-old mistake. The elongated shape fooled everyone. Biologically, it is an entirely different animal. Inside the electric eel's body lie 3 separate electrical organs: the main organ, Sac's organ, and Hunter's organ. Each organ serves a distinct purpose, and this division of function stands as evidence of millions of years of evolutionary refinement. Sac's organ emits weak electrical pulses, 10 to 100 volts, not for attack but to see. This is a biological sonar system. Electrical waves radiate outward, bounce off surrounding objects, and paint a 3-dimensional map of the underwater environment. In the opaque water where ordinary eyes are useless, the electric eel perceives the world through its electric field. Every organism passing through creates a disturbance, and the eel detects it. When the target enters range, hunting mode engages. 80% of its body consists of cells stacked upon each other like thousands of batteries. When the command fires, all discharge simultaneously. A massive electrical pulse surges through the murky water. The prey has no time to react. Muscles lock. The nervous system shuts down. The contest ends in milliseconds. For larger targets, the electric eel coils its body around the victim like a tightening electromagnet, doubling the intensity of the lethal strike. No claws, no fangs. Power in the Amazon is sometimes completely invisible. But the electric eel is not the only creature making the Amazon River deadly. There is another army far smaller, but 1,000 times more numerous. When people mention piranhas, Hollywood has built a legend, a ravenous school capable of stripping a cow to bone in minutes. That legend is almost entirely false. The red-bellied piranha Pygocentris natureri reaches a maximum of about 13 inches, weighing roughly 7.5 pounds, far smaller than the movies suggest. But do not confuse size with power. The piranha's teeth are among the most perfect weapons evolution has ever produced. Triangular, razor-sharp, interlocking like scissor blades. Bite force relative to body size ranks among the strongest in the freshwater fish world. But the scientific truth is more surprising than any horror film. Piranhas are primarily scavengers. Most of the time they feed on carrion, insects that fall into the water, seeds, even algae. The cinematic killer Hollywood invented? It barely exists. Feeding frenzies, collective feeding explosions, are exceedingly rare. They occur only when piranhas are desperately starved or when dropping water levels crowd hundreds into shallow pools. In reality, piranhas are rather timid. They typically avoid large objects, and most of their lives pass in caution rather than aggression. Piranhas possess a lateral line system running along both flanks, detecting vibrations in the water with remarkable precision. When a piranha is wounded, chemical signals disperse through the water. The entire school reacts immediately not to cannibalize, but to mount a collective defense. Piranha teeth shed and regrow throughout their lives, always sharp, always ready. Evolution equipped them with a self-repairing arsenal. Hundreds of small brains, connected through chemistry and vibration, reacting in an instant. They act as a single organism. The piranha's true role is not killer. They are the sanitation crew, clearing carcasses, preventing disease, keeping the river healthy. Without piranhas, animal carcasses would accumulate. Bacteria would bloom. Thousands of other fish species would perish from epidemic disease. The razor-toothed army keeps the river clean so that life may continue. But there is one predator that hunts piranhas as though they were easy prey, a hunter that preys upon the cleaners themselves. The giant otter Pteronura brasiliensis, the longest otter species in the world. "6 feet from nose to tail, 48 to 75 pounds of pure muscle." IUCN classifies them as endangered. The fur trade of the 20th century nearly erased this species from existence. Today, mercury contamination from artisanal gold mining, deforestation, and dam construction continue to threaten the remaining populations. Their future hangs by a thread. But in the river stretches where they still endure, giant otters are the one adversary nobody wants to face. They hunt in groups 3 to 8 or more, moving in synchrony underwater at speeds around 9 miles per hour. A double-layered, waterproof coat keeps their bodies warm in cold currents. Not a single drop of water touches the skin beneath. The giant otter's call pierces through heavy jungle. Each individual possesses a unique vocalization, an acoustic fingerprint. Researchers have documented more than 20 distinct sound types, from warning barks to hunting screams. Complex group communication, precise cooperative hunting. This is not a wild animal pack. This is a tactical unit. When hunting fish, the group fans out in a line, driving schools into shallow water. Each otter holds a position like players on a pitch. Each day, a single giant otter consumes 6 to 9 pounds of fish. Multiply that across the group, the quantity of fish vanishing daily is staggering. And here lies the most remarkable fact. Giant otters hunt piranhas. The cleaners become the prey. The piranha's razor teeth become meaningless against the speed, coordination, and bite force of the otter. The hunter that hunts the creature everyone fears. But piranhas are not the most formidable opponent. Giant otters confront even black caimans, the largest predator in the Amazon basin. When facing a black caiman, the entire otter group surrounds it, lunging in to bite from multiple directions, creating chaos. The caiman, despite outweighing them tenfold, is overwhelmed by coordination. A group of 20 otters can force a black caiman into retreat. The collective defeats the individual. Numbers plus discipline outweigh solitary strength. That is, the law giant otters have proven across millions of years. The one who controls the river might seem to hold supreme power. But the Amazon is not only water. Where water meets land, muddy riverbanks, submerged root systems, darkness beneath the canopy, the true rulers finally emerge. Who do you think truly rules the Amazon? Share your thoughts in the comments below. But the most terrifying chapter has yet to begin. At the riverbank, where water meets land, 3 of the planet's most powerful predators share a single territory. Three apex predators, 3 creatures strong enough to kill anything, and none willing to yield. The first has been here since before the dinosaurs vanished. It is the immortal shadow of the Amazon. The black caiman Melanosuchus niger, the largest crocodilian in the Amazon basin. Adults reach 16 to 20 feet, weighing several hundred pounds. Jet black skin not by accident. In the blackwater regions of the Amazon, where tannins from decaying leaves stain the river the color of dark tea, the black caiman disappears completely. Perfect camouflage. The predator becomes the darkness, and darkness never warns before it strikes. The black caiman's eyes see through the dark courtesy of the tapetum lucidum, reflecting the faintest light, turning pitch-black night into broad daylight. It lies motionless for hours, only its eyes and nostrils breaking the surface. Patience is the strategy, time is the ally. After feeding, the black caiman can fast for weeks, even months. A metabolic rate slowed to perfection across millions of years transforms each meal into a long-term investment. In the 20th century, the black caiman nearly vanished. The hide trade pushed them to the brink of extinction. CITES Appendix 1. The highest level of protection was the last lifeline keeping this species from the abyss. Today, populations have recovered tens of thousands of individuals in the wild, primarily within protected reserves. But the future remains fragile. The black caiman has survived 65 million years of upheaval through ice ages, through the extinction of the dinosaurs. Ancient, patient, nearly invincible, but even the black caiman has something to fear. In the darkness where submerged roots tangle beneath the surface, another creature waits, more silent, more patient, and possessing the purest brute force in the reptile world. The green anaconda Eunectes murinus, the heaviest snake on Earth. Reaching 20 feet in length, a body as thick as a tree trunk, heavier than any serpent that has ever lived. The anaconda is the supreme ambush specialist. Eyes and nostrils positioned atop the head, allowing it to lie almost completely submerged, exposing only 2 tiny points above the waterline. Prey never sees it coming until it is too late. When the anaconda strikes, it does not bite to kill. It constricts, Coil after coil of solid muscle wraps around the victim, and with every exhalation the coils tighten. But the killing mechanism is not suffocation as long believed. Modern research by Dr. Scott Bobak has demonstrated that death comes from circulatory arrest. The crushing pressure sends blood pressure soaring. The heart can no longer pump. Internal organs fail. Within minutes, the prey dies not from lack of air, but because the blood stops flowing. Circulatory arrest. A silent death, efficient and more merciless than any venom. Once the prey is dead, the anaconda dislocates its lower jaw. The bones can separate entirely and swallows the victim whole, often consuming animals larger than itself. The swallowing process can take hours. The anaconda's entire body distorts, stretching and bending around the prey like a living sack. A single large meal can sustain an anaconda for weeks, even months. During that time, it lies motionless, digesting slowly, invisible among roots and mud. Safe in the water, sluggish on land. The anaconda is a creature of two worlds, but truly dangerous only when water is the battlefield. Silent, patient, overwhelming force. The anaconda needs no speed. It needs only a single opportunity. The black caiman dominates through bite force. The anaconda dominates through constriction. But there is a third one capable of hunting both. The jaguar Panthera onca, the uncrowned king of the Amazon. The strongest bite force among all big cats, 1,000 to 1,500 pounds per square inch. Stronger than a lion, stronger than a Bengal tiger pound for pound. And the jaguar does not bite the neck like a lion, nor the belly like a leopard. It bites directly through the skull-piercing bone, striking the brain. a technique unique among the great cats. One bite. Instant termination. But what makes the jaguar the supreme apex predator is not bite force alone, it is adaptability. It swims powerfully, one of the few big cats that hunts in water. It sees in darkness, courtesy of tapetum lucidum, reflecting every faint ray of light. The rosette-patterned coat is not merely beautiful. Each rosette disrupts the body's outline, transforming the jaguar into dappled fragments of light on the forest floor. Flawless camouflage beneath the filtered canopy. At night, the jaguar becomes virtually invisible. Soft paws tread soundlessly across dead leaves. Prey becomes aware of its presence only when everything is already too late. The jaguar hunts caimans. It leaps from the riverbank, biting through the caiman's skull from behind. The attack concludes in seconds before the caiman can even turn. No other big cat on Earth possesses this skill. Hunting armored reptiles in water, that is the exclusive domain of the Amazon jaguar. A predator that operates on land, in water, and in the trees. There is nowhere in the Amazon the jaguar cannot reach. The Amazon holds 89% of the global jaguar population. Losing the Amazon means losing the jaguar and losing the keystone species that maintains balance across the entire ecosystem. IUCN classifies the jaguar as near threatened. Deforestation, habitat loss, and human conflict shrink their territory every year. Weighing over 220 pounds in the Amazon, where prey is most abundant, jaguars here are significantly larger than their Central American counterparts. Massive size, superior bite force, limitless adaptability. The jaguar stands as the pinnacle of evolution in the Amazon. But even the pinnacle is not safe. Three creatures at the top of the food chain. Three beings powerful enough to kill anything within their domain. But none of them is truly safe. The black caiman can be ambushed by the jaguar. The anaconda can be torn apart by the black caiman. Jaguar cubs can be constricted to death by the anaconda. This is the law of the Amazon. There is no invincible predator, only one that has not yet met the right opponent. The power triangle caiman, it is 3 prisoners locked in a cycle from which none can escape. And that is the answer to the question posed at the beginning, but not the answer most would expect. Every year, 4,281 square miles of Amazon rainforest disappear according to 2020 data from INPE, Brazil's National Institute for Space Research. "4,000 square miles. Equivalent to the area of a small nation, every single year." When the forest vanishes, the food chain collapses. Ants lose the forest floor, spiders lose the darkness, electric eels lose the waterways, piranhas lose the rivers. Giant otters endangered. Jaguars near threatened. Black caimans barely pulled back from the edge of extinction, now facing new threats. Climate change extends the dry season. Rivers shrink. Aquatic predators lose their shelter. And when the water recedes, every conflict grows more savage. Artisanal gold mining pumps mercury into the rivers, poisoning fish, poisoning otters, poisoning the indigenous communities living along the water's edge. Numbers do not lie, but numbers cannot tell the whole story. The Amazon is not merely a forest, it is a lung. It is an oxygen factory. It is a climate shield for the entire planet. and it is being destroyed faster than any ecosystem on Earth. But amid all this destruction, the original question still echoes: who truly rules the Amazon? Not the jaguar, though its bite pierces through skulls. Not the black caiman, though its armor is older than the dinosaurs. Not the anaconda, not the electric eel, not the piranha. The true ruler of the Amazon is the ecosystem as a whole, where the smallest, most silent organisms keep everything running. Remember the ant empire from the beginning of this story. 8 million individuals, 150 million daughters from a single queen, tons of soil processed every year. Without ants, the forest floor suffocates. Without piranhas, the rivers fester. Without otters, fish populations collapse. Without electric eels, the underwater ecological web fractures. Every organism, from the smallest to the largest, is a single link. Remove one link, and the entire chain falls apart. Strength does not reside in size. It resides in organization, in connection, in a balance that only nature can create. That is the most ancient law of the Amazon, a law that 2.6 million square miles of rainforest has obeyed for millions of years. Within the heart of this planet, there is a place where life turns most savage. A place that does not belong to humankind. And perhaps should not. Thank you for joining Nature's Moments. The natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. We will see you on the next journey. For those who have not yet subscribed, now is the time. Because the Amazon and the astonishing creatures within it deserves to be known by more people. On the vast plains of Uganda, peace is a fleeting luxury. The worst drought in a decade is wringing the life from this land, pushing every creature to its absolute limit. And when desperation reigns, the most primal of conflicts will ignite. Among them, few spectacles can rival the clash between a lion and a Cape buffalo. On one side, the continent's most fabled predator. A calculated sovereign whose masterful skill has placed it firmly at the apex of the food chain. Leading the charge are the males, gliding through the tall grass like gilded phantoms. Their target is a colossal buffalo weighing nearly 2,000 pounds, separated from its herd. The hunt begins, and the savanna transforms into a battlefield. A stark contrast, the brute force of tooth and claw against the iron discipline of the herd. To hunt a buffalo is a perilous gamble. One wrong move can mean disaster. A primal struggle that has echoed across the African wilderness for countless generations. As the midday heat peaks, turning the savanna into a vast furnace, even the top predators are forced to retreat. Sated and weary, the lions withdraw into the sparse shade of thorn bushes, leaving the buffalo carcass to the blistering sun. But in Uganda, the end of one hunt is merely the signal for a new contest to begin. The feast is now passed to the great scavengers. From the endless, glaring sky, dark shadows descend. Vultures, the masterful navigators of the upper air, have sensed death from miles away. They land in a calculated chaos, spreading their vast wings to intimidate rivals, fighting for every last scrap of flesh. Yet their dominance is short-lived. The midday stillness is soon shattered by chilling wild cries. A clan of spotted hyenas arrives. One should not be deceived by their somewhat furtive appearance. These are true bone-crushing machines. With a tyrannical bite force, they effortlessly tear apart the ribcage the lions left behind. They do not just eat the meat, they pulverize the hardest bones to extract the nutrient-rich marrow within. Every crunch is an assertion of their absolute power in the second tier of the food chain. Lingering on the outer circle are the jackals. Small but cunning, they wait patiently, their furtive eyes tracking the rhythm of the hyena clan. Under the searing sun, a miniature ecosystem is operating with astonishing perfection. Blood, flesh and bone, nothing is wasted. Death, however brutal, becomes the very source that sustains dozens of other creatures, completing a cycle in this wild land that is eternal and unforgiving. Deep in the heart of East Africa, Uganda emerges as an ancient, wild kingdom, where life still flows to a primal rhythm. From its mist-shrouded rainforests to its golden savannas and winding river valleys, this is a miraculous world of adaptation and survival. Here, every creature, great and small, plays an indispensable role in nature's grand symphony. In Uganda, nature is not merely a backdrop. It is a living story told in every footprint on the soil, every call from the treetops, and every ripple on the river's surface. But this kingdom is changing. Survival no longer demands adaptation just to the tooth and claw of a predator. All species must now contend with a more devastating, invisible foe, a warming world. The wilderness is forced to write a harsher chapter with every dawn. While the great predators command the dramatic spotlight, another resident plays an equally vital role in shaping this dynamic ecosystem. The African elephant, the largest land mammal on the planet. Their presence is not just an existence, it is a reshaping of the entire landscape. With a diet consisting entirely of vegetation, a single adult can consume between 330 and 440 pounds of plant matter each day. These giants are the true architects of the ecosystem. By toppling trees, they create open spaces, allowing sunlight to reach the ground and encouraging the growth of fresh grasses, the lifeblood of zebra and antelope. But the elephant's true power is most evident when the heat becomes unforgiving. In the dry season, when riverbeds are but hot sand and resources are scarce, elephants display a remarkable intelligence and ingenuity. Using their powerful tusks and feet, they dig deep into the dry riverbeds in search of water. Beneath the scorched sand, they reach the water table. These temporary wells not only sustain the elephant herds, but also become lifelines for countless other species struggling with thirst. Without the elephant's excavations, death would be the certain fate for many smaller creatures. The social life of elephants is as magnificent as their impact on the land. Led by an experienced matriarch, these tight-knit family units hold knowledge of secret water sources and safe migration routes passed down through decades. When threatened, they form protective circles around their young, a formidable display of unity that is enough to make even lions retreat. In this land, one realizes a profound truth. The greatest power lies not in the claws of the hunter, but in the strength that nurtures and protects life, belonging to these gentle giants. As the giants' footsteps fade into the dusty haze, the legacy they leave behind begins to speak. The temporary wells in the dry riverbeds now become focal points of survival, drawing a diverse community in desperate need of life. The warthog enters, with its rugged appearance and an unshakable spirit of determination. With dark, bristly skin that serves as natural armor against the savanna's harshness, this compact creature gets to work as an expert excavator. Its snout easily breaks through the hard-packed earth to find roots and hidden nutrients. Though it often chooses to retreat into the bush when cornered, the warthog reveals a fierce courage, ready to use its sharp tusks to injure any careless predator. Its strength and resolve make it a surprisingly formidable opponent, even for the savanna's heavyweights. Yet, the warthog values freedom over confrontation. Whenever it senses an escape route, it will bolt towards dense vegetation or nearby burrows, using the landscape to conceal itself and evade danger. It lives in a balance of bravery and caution. And that delicate blend is what ensures its survival in one of Africa's most challenging environments. Under the brilliant sun, the stripes of a zebra herd create a mesmerizing visual display. Their bold black and white patterns are more than just individual markings. They are a living defense system. As the herd moves as one around the water source, the stripes create a shimmering, disorienting barrier that makes it a formidable challenge for a lion or leopard to single out an individual target. The silence is broken by the explosive leaps of the impala. An embodiment of speed and instinct, its slender, agile body can weave through threats with astonishing grace. Each bound into the air is not merely flight, but a calculated display of evasion, a life preserved by the narrowest of margins. Standing as a monument to quiet strength, the eland surveys the savanna as the largest of all antelope. With remarkable heat tolerance, the eland can extract nutrients from the driest, toughest shrubs that other species ignore. Its massive body and long, spiraled horns are not only an effective defense against lions, but also a testament to its resilience in a dry season without a single drop of rain. The eland can extract essential nutrients from dry, coarse vegetation, which many herbivores struggle with, and can survive without constant access to large water sources. This makes it one of the most capable survivors of the dry season. With its superior height, it browses on leaves and branches beyond the reach of other animals, accessing food in areas smaller species cannot. Though not a predator, its size and strength make it a potential target for male lions and hyenas. However, its muscular legs and formidable horns provide an effective defense, and its ability to move into more rugged terrain further increases its chances of survival. Eland often form small family groups rather than large herds, coordinating their defense and keeping watch for potential threats. Their presence on the savanna is a reminder of nature's resilience, where sheer strength and adaptability ensure that life persists even in the harshest conditions. The eland's resilience is being tested by a hunting party on the brink of desperation. Concealed in the thorn scrub, a pride of lionesses. The backbone of the pride now shows gaunt rib cages beneath sun-darkened coats, carrying the sharp edge of those who have not eaten in days. In their desperation, they take their positions, moving like golden specters through the dry grass. A thunderous charge shatters the stillness. Though the eland possesses formidable horns and a massive frame, it cannot withstand the devastating coordination of a pride maddened by hunger. The giant falls in a cloud of dust, its life given to sustain a lion dynasty on the verge of collapse. Not far away, topis stand proudly on elevated mounds of earth. With their sharp awareness, they are devoted sentinels, constantly monitoring the slightest ripple of danger from kilometers away. They are well adapted to harsh areas with little water and use dense vegetation for cover when threatened, relying on speed and agility to escape their enemies. Yet, despite these skills, the topi remains part of an unforgiving natural cycle, facing constant competition and the ever-present threat of predators. Socially, topi form small family groups or medium-sized herds. This structure allows the adults to protect the younger, more vulnerable members in the center while standing guard at the periphery. The cooperative behavior of these groups highlights the importance of teamwork and vigilance for survival in the challenging savanna environment. Among the tall residents of the Ugandan savanna, the Rothschild's giraffe is distinguished by its sheer height and elegance. Its long legs and a neck, adorned with distinctive patches, make it one of the most majestic creatures in the region. Its stature gives it a unique advantage. It can browse on leaves that other herbivores cannot reach, reducing competition and ensuring access to the best resources. Despite its size, the giraffe moves with a deliberate, unhurried grace. It browses slowly while maintaining a vigilant watch over its surroundings. This sharp vision allows it to spot predators like lions and leopards from a great distance. And if threatened, it can defend itself with powerful forward kicks, strong enough to deter most attackers. Feeding mainly on treetop leaves, the Rothschild's giraffe covers large areas of the savanna, adapting to different types of vegetation along the way. This constant movement helps it stay healthy and resilient, making the most of the land while living in harmony with the natural cycles of its environment. The Rothschild's giraffe is a prime example of adaptation at its finest. Its height, strength, and vigilance combine for survival in a competitive ecosystem. Observing this creature reveals how nature balances fragility and power, creating an animal that is both graceful and resilient on the vast African plains. But as the heat continues to tighten its grip, even the most reliable wells begin to run dry. The scent of distant water begins to call a promise of life, but also the whisper of death. From the cracked grasslands, survival instinct drives the herds away from the protection of the giants and towards the lower reaches of the Nile. They are unaware that beneath the deceptively calm, shimmering surface, ancient eyes have been waiting patiently for a very long time. A new battlefield is opening, where the victor is not the strongest, but the one who can wait for the perfect moment. In rivers like the White Nile, the cool water is the last bastion against the savanna's searing heat. The hippopotamus, the river's lumbering giant, spends most of its life submerged to protect its sensitive skin from the scorching sun. Though their bulky form suggests slowness, they are astonishingly fast, capable of charging at nearly 20 miles per hour underwater. The merciless drought is forcing this creature into a dangerous trade-off. Depleted food sources drive the hippos from the safety of the river, compelling them to trek across cracked plains under the harsh sun to find the almost 90 pounds of grass they need each day. Despite their seemingly lethargic demeanor, they are among Africa's most territorial and dangerous animals. With jaws that can open to an extraordinary degree and razor-sharp tusks, their explosive power can inflict horrific wounds on any intruder. But the hippos are not the river's only nightmare. Here, Nile crocodiles, creatures seemingly forgotten by time, are engaged in a quiet ritual of survival. These ancient predators are basking, claiming the most strategic positions along the water's edge. They lie as motionless as armored statues. After a bloody feast on migrating wildebeest, the crocodiles need extreme heat to activate their intensely powerful stomach acids. Lying side by side, they create a thermal advantage. The heat from one body warms another, forming a vast biological furnace to digest everything from femur to hoof. While basking, a crocodile can engage in unihemispheric sleep. One half of the brain rests, while the other remains fully alert, ever watchful for enemies. They appear entirely static, yet with each passing second, their brains process thousands of inputs, changes in air pressure, the faintest vibrations. This is not lethargy. It is the storing of power for a single decisive moment yet to come. But the order of this riverbank is about to be challenged by a force from the mainland. A power capable of shattering the stillness of these prehistoric reptiles. A herd of African elephants emerges. For these giants, the river is more than just a place to quench their thirst. It is a sanctuary for renewing family bonds. Led by a matriarch who carries the memories of decades within her. The herd's majestic presence instantly strips the ancient predators of their dominance. One wise crocodile chooses retreat, launching into the murky water to preserve its life. The arrival of these gentle giants swiftly alters the entire scene. Prompting the other armored assassins to silently abandon their posts, melting back into the river. It is a silent admission of an overwhelming power. As the elephants claim the riverbank, a more fundamental order is asserted. A testament to the intricate system of invisible connections that weaves together all life on the savanna. As the banks of the Nile settle after the brutal confrontations, life once again takes to the skies, where the birds begin to write a new chapter in the epic of survival. Far from the blood-tinged waters, in the quiet wetlands, a ghost from a prehistoric age emerges from among the reeds and papyrus, the shoebill. With its enormous, stone-hard beak and a chilling stare, it can stand motionless for hours, like a wooden statue carved from the past. This patience is not laziness, but a lethal weapon honed over millions of years of evolution. The moment a lungfish carelessly surfaces from the mud, that beak strikes with the speed of a lightning bolt, sealing the prey's fate. Under the burning sun, it is a symbol of absolute stillness, a solitary predator that reigns over the misty backwaters. Meanwhile, on the sun-drenched grasslands, the secretary bird chooses to stride across the earth on long, elegant legs rather than soar above. One should not be fooled by its long eyelashes and aristocratic bearing, for this is a specialist assassin of the savanna's most venomous snakes. It moves like a dancer on a stage of death, its sharp eyes missing no vibration in the dry grass. When facing its foe, it delivers thunderous stomps with a force 5 times its own body weight, powerful enough to crush an opponent's skull in a single motion. It is a perfect fusion of regal beauty and destructive power, a terrestrial warrior that never retreats from danger. Above it all, the majestic cry of the African fish eagle spirals through the air, a sound so iconic it is known as the voice of Africa. With broad wings resplendent in the morning sun, it carves circles of authority in the sky above the roiling river. Its piercing yellow eyes can penetrate the water's surface from hundreds of feet away, locking onto targets hidden beneath the silvered waves. In an instant, it tucks its wings and dives like an arrow, using talons as sharp as razors to lift its prey from the water in a dance of power and precision. Every wing beat and every sharp glance from above contributes to the magnificent symphony of survival played out under the sun. When these wings come to rest in the high branches, they make way for a new chapter in the struggle, one that continues quietly in the sweltering shade. In the oppressive heat of the day, when most creatures seek refuge from the scorching sun, a silent phantom is on the move. The African leopard. Its slender body, adorned with rosettes of gold and black, blends perfectly with the harsh sunlight and sparse shadows of the dry foliage. While lions and cheetahs are exhausted by the heat, this solitary assassin sees it as a golden opportunity. The drought demands extreme patience. It can lie motionless for hours, still as a stone, its cool eyes scanning the sun-drenched landscape for a young antelope or a troop of monkeys weakened by thirst. Its keen eyesight and acute hearing capture the most desperate movements from a great distance. And when the moment comes, the midday stillness is torn apart. It lunges with lethal speed and precision, dispatching its small prey before a cry can even escape. But in this thirsty land, making the kill is only half the battle. The scent of fresh blood quickly evaporates and travels far in the hot, dry air, alerting the keen noses of scavengers. Wasting not a second, the leopard displays its extraordinary strength. Clamping its jaws on the prey, sometimes heavier than its own body, it uses its sharp claws to haul the carcass high into the branches of a tree. This is the ultimate survival strategy. Its meal is suspended, perfectly safe from the reach of lions and hyenas, who can only look up from below in helpless frustration. In an environment where resources are unpredictable, the cunning and vertical power of this solitary hunter are a perfect testament to adaptability and resilience. From the rolling savannas to the dark, dense forests of Uganda, the wild world continues its eternal rhythm. Elephant herds move with a quiet majesty, lions assert their dominance under the setting sun, and countless other creatures struggle daily to survive against all odds. In this land, we come to realize an evident truth. The greatest power belongs not to the tooth and claw of the hunter, but to the strength that nurtures and sustains life. However, this ancient kingdom stands on the precipice of a profound change. The most devastating battle for survival that all species now face is no longer fought by the laws of the jungle, but against the harsh realities of a changing global climate. The delicate balance of nature has nurtured this planet for millions of years. Under the crimson sunset of the Savanna, each individual is an inseparable part of a sophisticated and miraculous web of life. And though our journey may end here, ensuring that this great symphony continues to play for all the dawns to come is now entirely in our hands.